Why solo play? That's the question, isn't it? It's what I see a lot of people asking. What would possess me to do this? A hobby, an activity that's typically done around a table with a group of people. What would ever possess me to get away from that table and do it by myself? What value does that really add? We're going to talk about it. We're going to explore this together. The Sacred Art of Gaming. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Sacred, and this is the Sacred Art of Gaming, where we like to talk about tabletop gaming and everything that it can offer you, everything that it offers me, especially with a little bit of a focus on solo play. And today I really want to talk about this. I've been thinking about this for a while because people that I know are starting to hear about the fact that I have a channel, and they're really dumbfounded by it. And then of course I see on like YouTube and stuff, there's plenty of people in many different channels, Discords, the YouTube comments where they're just kind of like, why would I ever do this? Or arguably worse, I want to do this so bad, but I can't figure out, I don't know like why. Like I want to do it, but I don't have enough to get started. I really want you to take a moment and think about some of your favorite rituals that you do. They're gonna be different for everyone. I think something that's gonna be common for a lot of people is going to be the ritual of making coffee. That could be something as simple as putting a K-cup into a Keurig, and that ritual is over. It's arguably not even a ritual at that point. But there are people that really enjoy grinding the beans. They enjoy whether they're using a mocha pot, using an AeroPress, or they're putting it into just their coffee maker and making a pot of coffee, or they're doing slow drip. There's a bit of a ritual to that. Same thing with tea. So shift gears a little bit. My wife is a master of rituals. Not in that way, but she loves to sit down and read a good book. She really does. There's like a vibe that she goes for, and everything has to be a certain way. And if it's not that way, it's kind of hard for her to get going. It's almost like not even worth it. But there's just something about whenever the temperature is just right and the kid's asleep and got a blanket sitting in her favorite chair. She's reading one of her favorite kinds of books. And then she goes to sleep after that, and she loves that. It makes her so happy. On the opposite side of things, because I'm not really one to sit down and read a book like that, so I can't relate. But it is relevant to this conversation. Working out, or maybe the start of, let's say, a boxing match, karate match, mixed martial arts, beginning of a little league football game, beginning of a little league baseball game, right? There's going to be rituals that you do before those games, before those matches, before those workouts. Whether it's a certain stretch, whether it's maybe you gotta run around all of the bases, maybe you play catch with a certain person, you run certain routes, and you can kind of get like superstitious about like if you don't do certain things. Like I know I have a necklace that I wear, and I'm not a particularly religious person, not that that's what this is about, but it is a religious necklace. And I'm a little superstitious about taking it off because I've taken it off before and got hurt almost immediately. So I try not to take it off. I took it off because I was afraid somebody was gonna like pull on it and break it. I think we were playing flag football. Hurt playing flag football, unbelievable. The reason why I bring these up is because rituals are very powerful, and solo gaming is, in my opinion, at its best when you can create a ritual around it. Now, walk with me for a moment in your imagination, right? Think about your favorite temperature in your house, or outside of your house, actually, because that's great too. Favorite temperature, your favorite, like whether it's outside or inside, like what sounds are you hearing? Is there like music playing? Maybe you have a candle. Maybe you have a certain chair, a certain place you like to sit. Maybe you have like a reading nook or something. Now imagine yourself, instead of maybe reading or watching a movie in that scenario, now picture yourself solo role-playing. And then what if I told you, while you are solo role-playing, you now have the ability to play any character, in any world, at any time, as much or as little as you want. And arguably you have a lot of control. I'm not saying don't play at a gaming table with people, because I love that and I think it's super important. The interaction it's incredible. But this does offer you somewhat of a different experience. And that different experience, whether it's a horror experience, horror to be clear, horror. Sometimes the second R doesn't quite get out. Maybe you want to light a candle and play some maybe you go on YouTube and find a playlist for dark, creepy music, or you have something in Spotify. Really sets the mood. It really changes things, right? Maybe you get a cup of coffee, or maybe it's late. Maybe you have a glass of whiskey. Whatever your ritual is, and then you just sit down and enjoy that scary game, whether it's a journaling game, or maybe it's a mystery, something more along the lines of Monster of the Week, East Texas University, Vason. And you can do whatever you want, and that experience can be deeply personal. Whether you are finding yourself playing a version of yourself that is really just cranked up to 11, or you're finding a way to play as someone completely different from you. And there are benefits to that. There's studies, science, and not just today, but the last few years, right? Social media, ads, the internet, the news, it really goes out of its way to steal your attention, and it takes, and it can really drain your life force, basically, and it can, you may not feel good about it, right? So I implore you, the next time you find yourself on TikTok or Facebook, we're on YouTube. So YouTube, I feel like isn't the worst, but the same can be said for YouTube. I would even say, like, if you've got the time now, click out of this video right now, get your favorite book for your favorite setting or rules, maybe roll some dice, kill some goblins, build a character, build a world. Because that experience, similar to reading a book, gives. It gives you something. There may be a small barrier to entry, similar to like when you're writing an essay in college or in high school, and you just can't get started. But once you get rolling, you're good. You're good. And if you have that problem, here's a tip. I'm not gonna say it's a pro tip, but it's a tip. Start right in the middle of something, and then figure the rest out later. Maybe you can just decide, yep, I'm in a cave and there's goblins attacking. I've made my character, I'm gonna figure out the rest after, but let's just get rolling. Because you're gonna get feedback from the game, and that feedback is gonna make you wanna play more. It's gonna build on itself. And you actually may even find yourself having to stop the game at some point if you want like an ending to like a story. You're gonna have to find a way to just be like, all right, let's put some bumpers up and just allow this to end. Let's get tunnel vision for a little while so that I can put a button on this story. If that's something you want, but you don't have to, because you'll end up in an endless spider web of possibilities for things that you can do. You get to experience a personal escape into interactive storytelling. That's really powerful, right? You get to decompress and unwind in I'm going to use the term safe space, but I don't know if I mean safe space. What I mean is a cozy place, a place where you hit the recliner at the exact angle where everything just feels right. You got your scented candle that smells like, I don't know, lavender pistachios or some shit. And everything is just perfect. Maybe you got your dog, petting your dog on the side, or cat, or iguana. And this is really a good chance to savor those small moments. Whenever you're playing with a group, moments that might be important to you, they may go by pretty quickly if the group is moving, right? Because it's not just you. And it's very possible that you're experiencing a meditative, creative experience. If meditative triggers you in some way, meditative could be like playing Doom as well. Doom, the video game, which is extremely violent. I personally find that as meditative in a sense. If I'm in the mood for a video game and I'm just gonna slaughter like hundreds of things in the most brutal way possible, yeah, there's something that allows me to unwind after a long day of bullshit. But if I could challenge you to find a way to make this into a ritual of comfort and creativity, I think that'd really go a long way. Whether you're playing out a mystery in the Midwest in the 1920s, or maybe you're in a fantasy world where you're slaughtering hundreds of orcs at a time. Maybe you're in the future. Maybe you're on a spaceship. You're trying to explore far-off lands. And that's exciting, right? Like every single world, like the possibilities are endless. What the hell's on that planet? Let's roll for oracles. So why solo play? Why not? What's holding you back? Nothing. You don't need the perfect scenario. You just need to do it. Let me know how it goes for you. I'm Sacred. This is the Sacred Art of Gaming. If you enjoyed this video, perhaps consider liking so other people like yourself get to see it. And if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing as we continue to explore the sacred art of gaming together. See you in the next one.